What's going on, everybody? Hope you guys are having a good weekend. I know I am. It's beautiful outside, and I just spent the last 3 hours, probably 2.5, but let's go round it up to 3, cleaning this thing because it was a disaster. So now it's semi-presentable. So I've been running the cts3 monitor for about a month and a half now, and I've really wanted to give you guys an honest review. And when I say honest review, you kind of have to wait for the what I call honeymoon phase to wear off, which after a month and a half it has. So the review is not shock and awe. It's not weighted in any way. It's just what I think of the monitor over time, and that's important because right out of the box you can love something. Later down the road you can see its flaws. So this is the animal at hand, the Edge cts3. So a couple things about this monitor. One, if you've ever been around a CTS2, this is the big thing for me, is the CTS2 I could not stand to drive with at night. The way the screen was backlit, it was just in your face. You couldn't turn it down enough. I just did not like it. It made driving at night harder than it should be. But this one, the readout on this one, it's, I don't know what they consider it, but it's more of a cell phone screen where it's not so heavy on the backlight. It's just right. The colors are bright, the colors are vibrant, but it's not in your face, right? And the auto dimming feature on it works really, really good. You can turn it way down. Another big thing for me, the updating on Wi-Fi. Now I think it's great. See, you just go in here, you go in here, you go to your settings, you say check for updates. I've already set up the Wi-Fi on it, so I should just be able to check for updates. And just like that, you're updating. No more taking it inside and hooking it up to the computer or a buddy's computer, downloading their program to your computer. No more of that, which is great. But here's a question I have to ask, and maybe they'll fix this down the road. Maybe it's not even fixed. Maybe it's just a late wish. How come we can do that, but we can't hook our cell phones to it for Wi-Fi or Bluetooth and transfer pictures? Now there's probably more to it than I know, but that would have been a great feature for it. But nonetheless, there's nothing wrong with the monitor itself. This right here, this being able to update in the truck without taking it in and messing with it is awesome. And I know a lot of you guys are going to say, well, I don't have Wi-Fi on that side of the house, or my Wi-Fi doesn't connect to it. If you have one of these, most likely you have the ability to create a mobile hotspot, which all you have to do is turn that on real quick, link it up to your thing, check for updates, either update or don't update, turn it off, you're done. So that's one thing I really like. They did the warnings different on this CTS3 than the CTS2 that I really, really like. So in a previous video I showed you guys the 5 red LEDs on top. So right up here, you can't see them right now. I picked a bad time to do this, but you can't see them right now up here, but there's 5 red LEDs that you can adjust the brightness on. Now, the purpose of those LEDs are to catch your attention even more. So let's say, obviously the most common alert that you set is your EGTs, between EGTs and coolant temp. You can set the yellow range, and then once you hit the red range, whatever you set for the warning, not only do you get absolutely screamed at by this thing, but you get the normal blinking alert on the screen, and you get 5 pretty well lit LEDs, red LEDs blinking in your face. So by some off chance your truck is so loud that you can't hear those alerts, they made sure that you can see them. Now the CTS2 was no slouch when it came to screaming at you and letting you know you're doing something wrong, but they just took it a step further with this one, with the CTS3, which I can appreciate. Another thing they did is the PIDs. I'm not going to say there's more, but at the same time, I feel like I have more options with this monitor than I did with the CTS2. Between the what do they call them? Common PIDs and advanced PIDs, or basic PIDs and advanced. Anyway, there's 2 different categories on PIDs that you can go through, which is nice. You get a lot of options. The screen layouts on these things, you get, I don't remember how many screen layout options we had with the 2, but there's a lot of layout options with the 3. And then they went so far as to give you different style options with a layout. It's kind of hard to explain. I think I went over it in a different video, but they added more options for customization, which, to get into that, you can change a lot of different options on customizations on this thing, between the colors of the gauges, the colors of the numbers, the colors of the labels, just the basic, like right now, see this square here, I have a square I went purple, and you can change that color. The customization on this thing is leaps and bounds above the last one, the CTS2. The refresh rate on it. So now we're getting into the important stuff. It's all important, but the refresh rate. This thing refreshes so much faster than my CTS2 did, which makes the gauges, when you go into the analog gauges, makes those a lot smoother than the CTS2 was. And I mean noticeably smoother. A lot smoother. And the normal gauges with the numbers and everything, it makes those, smoother as well. You can see more what's going on. And the CTS3, you have gauges up in 2 seconds. Now, there has been a couple times, and I'm wondering if this update will get to that, but there has been a couple times that it will take a while for my gauges to come up. It'll say loading gauges for a little while, and then they'll come up. Now, usually in the mornings I get in here, I start it. By the time I have my seatbelt on, I have gauges. Now, to give you a time reference, there have been mornings where I get in, start it up, put my seatbelt down, get out of the driveway, and start down the road before my gauges come on. That's probably happened 2 or 3 times, maybe. So it's not very common. In a month and a half, that's happened 2, maybe 3 times. Fine. But the other thing that's happened, and I don't see how it could be my doing on this, or why, but it's happened 2 times, definitely, maybe 3, where I shut the truck off, jump out like I normally do, come back maybe a couple hours later, open the door, and the monitor's still on, which I don't know why that is. But again, that's not bashing the unit. That is an update, that's just a bug that they have to work out, which, keep in mind, at this time, this monitor's only been out month and a half, 2 months maybe. I think, well, I can almost guarantee you, in my area, I was the first one to have one. And like I said, it's only been about a month and a half since I've owned it. So they're pretty fresh. So bear in mind, a lot of this stuff I'm telling you right now, later down the road in the future, if you're watching this down the road, a lot of this stuff could be fixed or should be fixed by now. But the one thing, this is kind of jumping around. I'm jumping around as I think of things. There's one thing that I do have to say, and I hope Edge sees this, coming from someone that doesn't see great at night, and I'm telling you, this is not a problem. This thing is awesome at night. It's not an eyesore at all, which the CTS2 was, I'm sorry to say, was kind of an eyesore in the dark. This one's not. But I would love to be able to do this. I would love to be able to do this and hit a power button. Off. Why can't I turn this thing off unless I unplug it? That right there is one of my pet peeves. I should be able to turn it off. Like right now. So we're sitting in here. I turn the key on. I have the monitor on to go reference for you guys. Now when I get out of here, it'll probably turn off. But why can't I turn it off without unplugging it? Answer me that. Is that too much? Not enough? I don't know. One thing I did notice that the CTS2 had, and it was actually a pretty fun feature to play with that this one does not have, is this does not have, I don't have my, I don't have my mileage coach. Where's my mileage coach? Who's going to tell me how to drive? Who's going to tell me if I'm getting green leaves or yellow leaves or red leaves? I don't know what I'm doing anymore. I need my mileage coach. That was kind of fun. To kind of challenge myself to get somewhere in the green. I mean, where is it? Bring it back. Give me my mileage coach back. Man, I don't know. I'm sure I'm missing something. I guarantee you I'm missing something with this monitor that I should be telling you right now. But all in all, what I have to say is, even though, like I said in the beginning, the honeymoon phase is worn off. And that's the key. And that's the reason why I didn't want to give you guys a proper opinion or review, I guess you should say, on my opinion until that wore off, because I don't want to be one of those guys that takes it out of the box. And I did go over it when I unboxed it, but I didn't want to take it out of the box not knowing anything about it, not having any seat time with this unit, and giving you guys a review. So the point of a review in my mind is, how is it in the real world? And now we know it's awesome. So don't get me wrong, this monitor is amazing. And I don't know why you cannot control EFI Live tunes through the CTS2 or 3 on a Dodge with this unit, but you can for a Ford and you can for a Chevy. You have to buy an extra EAS attachment to change tunes on a Dodge through this unit. I don't know why. I'm sure there's a reason, and I'm sure they would get around it if they could, but they can't. So that is my only squall about it, which is fine because I have a Switch. I like my Switch, so that's totally fine. But no, in all honesty, the monitor has been great. I love the features. I love the screen. I love how it works. It's just really smooth, and I love that it's cheaper than the CTS2, which is strange, but hey, I'll take it. So that's that, guys. I wanted to give you my honest opinion on the unit as I've used it day by day. Like I said before, I've had this thing, the CTS3, for about a month and a half, and it's been great. It really has. A couple little bugs need worked out, but I'm sure they're working on that with the updates and everything going on. I really like it. I mean, I've probably said it before, time and time again. The thing's awesome. Just driving at night and just interacting with the unit has been a pleasure. It's been a really good unit. So Let me know down below if you guys have one of these or you're interested in one, you've been looking for one. Let me know your thoughts down below, because I'm really curious to see other people's reactions or experiences with this monitor. Oh, and also down below in the description there will be links for that monitor on Amazon and other things. If you check those out, I really appreciate it. It helps me help you with the videos. I want to bring you guys the best content I can, and just from you guys watching, the support has been awesome. It really has been. But go check that out. Like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, because these are they're changing soon. New ones are coming soon. We're gonna do something that I told myself a year ago I would never ever do to this truck, but hey, what do you do? So thanks again, see you on the next one.